What's up with you guys? It is your boy West Coast, man. So, this is my recap from last night's game, man. It's going to be kind of long, so get ready. First off and foremost, man, the game I think was entailed more importantly by the lack of wide receivers catching footballs. Last night, the Dallas Cowboys did something that had never been done. I think it's only been done like once in an NFL game, and I know it was the first time it ever happened in a Dallas Cowboy game, and that is you had 9 drops from your wide receivers and tight ends. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of wondering, like, who do you put this on as far as these drops, like wide receivers catching the ball, touching the ball, and just physically not catching the ball. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I am more inclined after watching film to put this on the quarterback and the both wide receivers. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, there was ample amount of times where it looked like Dak could have put the ball in a better place, but then there was ample amount of times where I felt like the wide receiver could have just did more for their quarterback. I'm sorry, y'all. Dak Prescott did not look hurt. He looked rusty. He looked like he hadn't played in a little bit. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. And it looked like these wide receivers were cold, man. It just felt like they were making business decisions. There was not very much effort on plays. And there was just times where they just seemed like they just did not give a hoot. And I'm just being real. Like, you would think if your quarterback was hurt, like really, really hurt this past weekend, that you would have had guys like trying to take it up a notch, trying to make an extra play for their quarterback. But at times, you just did not see that. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I love Amari Cooper as a person, but he looked 100% not engaged in this game. He looked like a guy who was honestly, he either had gas, gout, or something wrong with him, but something on the inside was not right with Amari Cooper. And I'm going to just be honest with you guys, statistically, something ain't been right with Cooper in about 3 weeks. Because for the last 3 weeks consecutively, he has not been our leading wide receiver. So I'm going to be honest with you, man, for a guy who was trying to get a $20 million check, Amari Cooper did not look like a guy last night who was trying to play for a $20 million check. He looked like a guy that was just very not engaged in the game, and he looked like a guy that was kind of like burnt out. I'm just being honest with you guys. Now, it probably didn't help that the Dallas Cowboys kept taking him in and off the field, like ridiculously. Like the Dallas Cowboys, like there was a major play when it was a third down on the final drive. Amari Cooper sitting on the sidelines. Then you go to the very next play. I'm thinking, okay, at some point they're going to put Amari Cooper back in. Well, guess what? Amari Cooper was still on the sidelines. So I don't know if this offense has just decided that they're going to try to find a way to win games without Amari Cooper, but it definitely seems like this offense has done something in their mental mind where they are basically just either going away from him or his value has definitely changed, because the Dallas Cowboys are definitely trying to find ways to win games without him, because he showed. The kid had 1 target in the first half and he had like 2 targets in the second half. Now remember, this is a guy who has over 403 yards versus this exact same Eagles defense, because remember, he's only been a Dallas Cowboy for 24 games. So this is a guy who's done this against this Eagles team, not the organization, but against these corners and these DBs. And you know what the Dallas Cowboys did? We just let all that go out the backside of our windows, and we gave it no thought because we did not target him, or we did not try to get him involved in this game. Secondly, man, something else that I saw last night that did not help also is, man, just talking about the offense, man. Your offense was trash like last night. Like, our offense was just, it was just trash. Like, we went from an offense that was almost 40 points the last week to an offense that couldn't even score a physical touchdown. Think about this. The Dallas Cowboys had 12 drives, and on those 12 drives that we had, we were able to get 3 field goals. Shout out to my boy Kai Farbath, who's really the only offensive player who came to play last night and did their thing, because he was the only one that was able to do his actual job. From my wide receiver core all the way down to my tight end core, nobody looked good. Something else that stood out to me also is, man, Jason Witten. Jason Witten had 4 targets last night. He dropped 2, caught 2, and had 14 total yards. Now you have Blake Jarwin, who gets 1 total target, and guess what he gets with that 1 total target? He gets 14 yards. So think about this. It took Jason Witten 4 targets, 4 plays to get him 14 yards, while it only took Blake Jarwin 1 play to get 14 yards. That's ridiculous. In a game where we cannot score points, you have Blake Jarwin sitting on the sideline, not even really playing. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If I'm some of these offensive weapons and some of these offensive team players, if I'm a free agent, I'm out of here next year. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this offense is going to kill your career. Like, if I'm Blake, I'm out of here, man. Why? Because look, bro, you have a tight end on the field who you know you're physically better. You're getting more yards, more everything than him, and they're not even giving you the opportunity to throw the ball to you. My boy Blake had 1 opportunity last night. And you know what he did? He got you a first down, 14 yards. You know what the Dallas Cowboys did? We did not go to him again. I'm going to say it louder for the people in the stands. Dak Prescott did not look hurt. He looked rusty. I'm just being all the way 100 with you. He did not look hurt. He looked 100% rusty. He looked like a guy who hadn't thrown a football in about 3 days. And to be honest with you, that's what happened. He was a guy who hadn't thrown a football in about 3 days. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, he 100% looked like it. So you know what we learned from last night's game? That Dak Prescott is not the type of quarterback who can take a week off. That's not him. Dak Prescott has to play. He has to practice. He has to stay in his regimen. I had a long conversation with my co-part, Boss Cowboy, last night. And he said this, and it was very, very true. He said, man, the Dallas Cowboys did something that Dak had never been done in probably 7 years of him playing, college football, NFL football. And that is what? They changed his regimen. Dak Prescott has never been in a situation where he did not practice all week, didn't throw any balls all week, and then you want him to go out there and win a divisional championship. They don't do that. They don't do that. You practice how you play. So guess what? If you didn't practice much, guess what? When you go out there and you got to lean on that actual trait, then you would think, to be honest with you, if you thought he was really, really hurt and he couldn't play, the thought of 9 drops shouldn't even have been a problem. Want to know why? Because we shouldn't even been throwing the ball that much if he was really hurt. But the fact that we kept throwing the ball lets me know that he wasn't really hurt, man. If he was, he probably hurt like everybody else. Like at this point of the season, every single person is hurt in the NFL. Why? Because you've been running into grown men for the last 14 weeks. So everybody is hurt in some fashion. But I don't think he was hurt. I'm sorry. I think the Dallas Cowboys tried to play a little mind game and they ended up burning themselves. Why? Because your quarterback wasn't prepared, man. I love me some Dak, but last night was a game that he was not prepared. And I don't think he wasn't prepared because of him. I think he wasn't prepared because he didn't play. To be honest with you, Dak Prescott looked like a quarterback who was rusty. He didn't look like a quarterback who was hurt. He looked rusty. Something else we learned, or something else we saw last night, once again, I'm not even going to make a video about this because this is just so obvious. Zeke had 13 carries. When we have 13, 12 carries, we lose. This is what it is. He had 13 carries for 47 yards. My thing is this. If Dak was really hurt, why didn't Zeke have more carries? If Dak was really, really hurt this week, why didn't Zeke have 25 carries? Why didn't we come in this game thinking we're going to lean on the run since our quarterback's hurt? Want to know why? Because he wasn't. They were just trying to play mind games, and it burned them. My last thing is this, man. Kellen Moore, that has to change, bro. Actually, I got 2 more things I want to talk about. Kellen Moore, play calling, experience, has to change. Let's just be real, man. If you draft a quarterback right now, you're going to expect for him to have learning curves, right? You're going to expect for him to have mistakes. You're going to expect for him throwing interceptions. You're going to expect him to do that stuff. Why? Because he's young. Well, guess what? The Dallas Cowboys had, in 2018, last year, we had the hardest problem to fix. And you know what that was? Scoring physical touchdowns. We could not score physical touchdowns. And you know what we did to fix that? We gave that ability and that job to a guy who had never done it in that same league. We didn't go get him this big target wide receiver. We didn't go get him this big target tight end. We didn't go get him this monstrous. We didn't do none of that. We switched one guy and said that this one guy has the secret to unlocking touchdowns. And guess what? We were wrong, just like we were wrong with Tristan Hill. We said Tristan Hill was going to unlock Xavier Woods' potential. Why? Because he was going to do all this in the front. Well, guess what? It didn't happen. So what is your contingency plan when what you were guaranteeing to work doesn't work? You know what you have dysfunction. And that's what the Dallas Cowboys had last night. We had dysfunction at its best. My last thing I want to say is this, man. If I'm Randall Cobb, I am pissed this morning. If I am Randall Cobb, I am pissed this morning. You want to know why? Because the film says that Randall Cobb should have had 200 yards yesterday. The Eagles were in a position where they could not cover all the damn wide receivers. Why? Because they had Sidney Jones kept going, not Sidney Jones. They had Jalen Mills kept going down, and the other corner kept going. Jalen Mills left the field 3 times last night. And you know what we didn't do one time? We didn't attack their backup one time. You guys remember back in the day when Drew Brees, when we were playing the Saints, and we were in New Orleans, and one of our linebackers went down. We had to run Damian Wilson out on the field real quickly, right? And Damian Wilson didn't even know the play. He ran out there throwing his hands up like, what am I doing? You know what Drew Brees did? He hiked the ball and he threw the ball. He had the wide receiver run right at Damian Wilson, and he ran right past him and threw a touchdown. You know what that's called? That's called matchup. We didn't do that at all. Jalen Mills went down 3 times. You know we didn't even attack the corner. The backup corner that was supposed to come in and take his place. We didn't take it. We didn't attack them one time. One time. Like, you know when you play Madden and then their corner goes down, what's the first thing you do? You go deep on that new corner. Why? Because he's new and he's not a starter. We didn't do that one time. We didn't do that one time. So you know what we did? We made these corners feel like they could cover. And that's why they were running around there and doing all this other crap, because we made some bum corners feel like they could play. And that's what happened. This offense and this offense and their lack of production, their lack of scoring, allowed this defense with these bad DBs to feel like they could cover. And that's what happened. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. If I can only fire one today, Jason Garrett or Kellen Moore, I'm firing Kellen Moore. The reason being is because I'm gonna tell you this: as much as y'all may be mad at Scott Linehan, at least Scott Linehan got us into the playoffs. Like, think about this, right? Scott Linehan only had Amari Cooper for 8 games. No, he had him for 9. You know what he did? He went 7-2 with Amari Cooper. Kellen Moore has had Amari Cooper 16 games. You know what we are? 7-8 with him. So, I'm just saying this. Your same problem that you had last year, scoring problems, is the exact same problem you have now. Can't score touchdowns. And guess what? Your offensive coordinator is not the answer. Dallas Cowboys, we need experience. We need experience calling plays. We need someone who can help our quarterback. Like right now, it feels like my quarterback is helping my play caller, or my play caller should be helping my quarterback. How often do you see Dak Prescott throwing to wide open wide receivers? Never. You want to know why? Because we're not scheming them. We're not. Hey, y'all, this is my first part of my breakdown. I will be doing another 12-minute video specifically on the defense. Why? Because I know y'all was hating because y'all was already in my inbox. Shout out to the people that got blocked saying dumb stuff to me. Yeah, I love y'all too. But y'all already know what it is, man. This was the complete breakdown on the offense. We will be looking at the defense next. You already know what it is. Never look down because the stars up. Peace.